Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. A lot of people talk about the importance of certain inventions in society, and immediately fire and the wheel comes up. The wheel is important, especially for higher society, but you can get along with it pretty well, and maybe even up to like a Roman scale society. The Mesoamerican people were building pyramids and they didn't have an operational wheel. They knew about wheels, they put them together for toys and things like that. They didn't use them. It was a good technology, but probably didn't suit with their environment, being they're a mountainous people with all sorts of territory and swamps and crazy things like that. A wheel is just not designed for that environment. If you're in the middle of a desert, deserts aren't really sand. They're usually rocky and stuff like that. Well, that's not very helpful for a wheel either, because once a wheel hits a rock, maybe the rock gets stuck, maybe the wheel gets stuck, it doesn't work well. So the wheel is beneficial for a higher type of technology. I don't think I don't think it's as high on the totem as people would initially believe. Fire, well, fire is one of the very first human inventions or innovation, really, because fire is going on all the time around us. But the difference between running away with a branch from a lightning strike and being able to create your own fire are two completely different things. It's also not really a lost art that's in danger of going away. There's plenty of Cub Scouts and Girl Scouts and adventure campers who have all sorts of ways to light a fire, be it a solar powered generator that hooks into a plasma lighter, or using the ancient technique of the bow line, spinning a stick into a groove. This is something an amazing number of people know. They might not like to use it, like I don't like to use it, but the same token, they have the capability. But there's one other thing that it's not being done in any appreciable significance, but is being used everywhere, and that is string. Think about string. It's everywhere. Fabric is basically layers and layers of string put one on top of another. The difference is people are not home making string, or at least if they are, they're not doing it on a significant level. Wires are used in a string configuration because that's the most efficient way we know how to make them. Without string, you don't have ropes. Without ropes, you're basically abandoning leverage. You can get creative, you can make a trebuchet out of them, you can think about it this way. You can make a dugout canoe. I don't want to say simply because it is an incredible investment, or you can make a simple raft with just string to hold it together. There's other ways to hold it together than just wrapping each log. You can have little tines that go around it, kind of like a hair clip, but then you got to wrap them down, which you can do with either string or with a specialized bit of wood that'll grip them together. But the string, again, is far easier. In a car, your timing belt, your main radial belt, all those things is basically high-tech string. Look at your shoes, if you're wearing them. If you're out doing something active while listening to this, I salute you. But I'm sure we all know what what basic shoes look like. Shoelaces come to mind first. What about all the things that make up a shoe? They're little bits of string laid out, um, loomed together in whatever way they decide to loom it, and then sewed together once again with string. Something as simple as the things that you wear on your feet to go gardening, to go to the store, whatever it is, depends on the technology of string. And like I said, no one's home making string, or if they are, it's in very limited quantities. String can be rolled up and you can make a rope out of it. With a rope, all of a sudden you're getting into some serious strength. You could be using rope to go rappelling off a mountain. You could be using rope to lift a boulder that's tons and tons. Rope is really phenomenal in what it can do. And so many things can be made into rope by making them into string and then twinning those strings together and braiding them into other ones and so on and so forth. That basic technology of taking a bit of wool, a bit of cotton, whatever you're going to, and spinning it is absolutely phenomenal. The fire, you can get that by watching it. A wheel, it doesn't take much experimentation to figure out that a round object is the most efficient for most surfaces. But string, that's conceptual. That's an example of the human mind in motion. It doesn't really occur in nature. I mean, coconuts have those strands that come off them that you can make a decent string and rope off of. Bulrushes, if you're particularly talented, you can make them into a form of string. But somebody still had the idea, hey, I need something to connect this and that. And then work from there to innovate string. So in a society, unless you have string or some means to produce a rope of some degree of quality, you're not getting anywhere. It's even rumored that the higher civilizations in Mesoamerica could communicate through knots in a rope. Now, I've found a few references to this, but this is how versatile string is. It does everything from making sure your shirt stays on your back to being able to send a message, plus all the other inventions we have from it. I mentioned earlier about wires being in a string configuration, because that's the most efficient way to do it according to our current level of technology. But you never hear it mentioned with fire in the wheel. It's more important, and I'm not going to go into who invented it. This stuff predates history by so long. It seems to have been the province of women for a long time, but at the same token, men knew how to make it. There's all sorts of stories of, sailors having to make their own rope and stuff like that. So it's a survival skill that was needed and is now just not in vogue. But if you have a filament 3D printer, you're basically using a piece of string that's made out of plastic. We're not getting away from string or its grouping, I don't know what to call that, its grouping of materials anytime soon. So it's time we start teaching that as a valid skill. After all, we only have one technological ring, and the survivors are going to have to figure out all this stuff on their own. Because, yeah, who's going to make your string for you when nobody has a loom, nobody has, even an idea of how to use a loom, and I count myself among those people. I guess you might call this self-reflective. But there's something I want to give you an idea to think about how something so ordinary dates back so far in the past that we don't even have a history to tell of it. although everybody knows exactly what it is, and if I give you a ball of it, you can probably do something useful with it. Something to think about. With that, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Silverlight Show. Hope it strings together with my other ones. If you did, please like, share, because sharing is caring. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Click the notification icon down below. That way you can be notified every time that we upload a new episode. And we hope you have a fantastic day.